Hello viewers, here is a China light. This is Doing House branded. It's magnetic, it sticks on the ceiling of your closet and it's motion sensor, so when you go in there it lights up. I've had these for a couple months and they China'd out. The batteries quit. And I like these enough that I didn't want to just toss them, but I didn't want to buy another set either because I only get fooled once by China. So I thought perhaps I can open it up and change the battery, but not put in another stupid lithium fireball battery, but rather put in a box of AA batteries. So that's what we're going to do here. It has a terrifying battery inside of it. This is what it looks like. It's a 3.7 volt, 350 milliamps. So this is going to give me 23 or 28, I think the batteries are. They're right here. Let's see here. 26. Oh, that's great. 26 times 3 capacity, and they already lasted, well, when they were working, they lasted quite a long time on a charge, so I suspect this will last the better portion of a year, if not more. So anyways, let's get into this thing and see what we can do here. There's a screw under the quality control sticker. I would argue it was a QC fail, but that's just me. And we have one of those. And I find that kind of comical because, I mean, who is going to take this apart and try to replace the battery? I mean, really. Down to the point they put stickers over it, they put a security bit. I almost wonder if these bits are just cheaper, and so that's why they use them. Either way, it's ridiculous. I've got a security bit here. This isn't exactly the right one, but it's going to work. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. And just wait until you see how this screw is threaded into here, what it goes into. It's ridiculous. Okay, I'm just going to pull it the rest of the way out. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So the screw just threads in right there, half of a, half a hole. Unbelievable. So now we got that open, we can pull the electronics out. I'm going to take a hard edge that's kind of flat and just push it through. Okay. Now this switch is the biggest piece of garbage I've ever seen, because on the other one I did, this plastic piece actually just disintegrated, and that was of course the end of the light. So I want to make sure I leave this into motion position because that's what I'm going to want to use it in. So it's in motion position now, so I'm going to do the repair with the switch in that position because for all I know it's going to break again. So now we're going to remove the fireball battery and hope it doesn't explode. Cut one at a time so that we don't get a short. Okay. And this, I'm afraid to even put that in the regular trash. I don't know what to do with that. I have to get it recycled or something. I'm going to strip these wires. Okay. And then we'll strip the wires in the battery box. And that was way longer than I wanted it to be. Okay. Now we're going to make some connections here. We're going to use those again, so we'll set those aside. I hope to be able to use that stuff again, so we'll set that aside. I was not able to reuse it because it broke on the other one I did, but whatever. Alright, so now we're going to join the wires here. It's blurry. Unblur. That's not going to unblur. Okay, so that's joined. And now, because this product is far too cheap for shrink tubing, I'm just going to put the hot glue on here so it doesn't short out. Okay, and then I'm also going to put some hot glue on here because I don't trust this, the integrity of that connection. Okay, and we're getting hot glue string freak show here. Alright, so let's check this out here and make sure it's working. It should be, but who knows. Hello? Oh, is this not turned on? What is going on here? Well, it's getting power. Why it's not detecting any motion is kind of beyond me. Maybe too bright in here, I don't know. Oh, I'll cut the other lights off and see if that's the problem. Oh, of course, now I can't see what a doggone thing is. Okay, now it's working. Yeah, so it was the problem of brightness. Okay, so I'll cut this back off, and we're done with that. So the rest is pretty easy from here on out. I'm going to go ahead and slip this back in here. Now we got to pay attention to which side this goes on, because this does go on a certain way. So the switch has to go into this side. I'm going to add a little more, just a tad more glue on the end of these, because it looks like the tip may not be completely insulated. Okay. So now we slide this stuff back in here. And the connections I'm just going to feed back into here. And those should be fine. Now the board has to be relatively flush with the with this side here where the switch goes on, and you also have to make sure that the switch is in the position of the actual switch, otherwise it'll get broken when you go to put the cover back on. Alright, so this is dried up. Stick this in here again. It's not cooperating. A little bit of a tight fit with all that glue in there, but it is what it is. Do that. You can put it in front of that other blob. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So I'm going to put the switch all the way to the left. I'm going to put this all the way to the left and hope that it doesn't break. It's not doing anything. I guess it's got to be pushed over more. Okay, now it's working. So screw this back in in all its cheap, terrible glory. This is going to be a thriller to get in because of how ridiculous the hole is. What happened to the bit? Here it is. This is not going to go on without a fight. Now that's not exactly how it should be, but oh no, I think it's working. Yeah, it's working. Alright, so now we'll put the other side back on. And well, actually I guess we're not going to put that on because it doesn't fit, because there'll be no way to get the wires out. So the last thing we're going to do is glue the battery compartment on so we can still put it back on the ceiling. And the magnet is actually strong enough for this to fit. Did this on the other one and it was fine. Now I'm going to put it on the table like this, and I'm going to lift it off just a little bit because I need to be able to when it sits on the ceiling, this has to go flush to the ceiling. So this can't be, you know, beyond the thing at all, otherwise the magnet's not going to work. So I'm going to have it just like that, and we're going to run some glue here. Okay, and that's that. So now when it becomes time to change the batteries, all I gotta do is pull this off the ceiling, open the cover, put the batteries in, and we're good to go. And like I said, this battery was a 350 milliamp hours, and that would last for a good month or two. So I suspect this will last at least a year, if not more. In fact, it'll probably run out just from the battery self-discharging over time, because the batteries are kind of old. I've had the batteries for a couple of years now. But anyways, so there it is. This is now no longer built with planned obsolescence. I have beat the planned obsolescence, and this is ready to go for as long as the stupid LEDs and motion sensor want to work. Take that, China. I'm still using your El Cheapo product that you thought was disposable.